All right, look, it should be no surprise that there is an overall silence coming from the black community. Literally, America is crumbling to pieces, and you have barely heard a peep from black people. And I actually find it extremely surprising that people actually expect black people to feel sorry or feel some type of sympathy for the downfall of America. After everything that America has put us through, do you really think that we're all in silence sitting back thinking about now we can fix this shit and we can bring things back to the way they were? No and no. We do not want things to go back to the way they were. And you know what's crazy? I think a lot of people mistake this silence that's coming from the black community as a lack of awareness, as if maybe we don't know what's going on. You might see us dancing and having fun and playing around and shit still, and you might think, these niggas just don't take shit seriously. But I'll tell you what, at a certain point, niggas will stop dancing, niggas will stop singing, niggas will stop going along to get along. But we know America far too well. And we know that there's far too many traps, there's far too many booby traps, there's far too many things put in place that are meant to capture us, to catch us, to stop our forward progress. We know that most of our attempts at protest and revolution, they get quenched before they even really get started. So we just chilling, sitting back waiting. But you'll be a fool if you think that silence is a lack of awareness. And you know what? I really think that some of these people, I don't think what scares them the most is losing all that money and losing the access to certain privileges and whatnot. Of course that matters, but I think what really scares some of these people is that at a certain point of the degradation of this society, black people and other melanated peoples will feel this relief and sense that, hey, big brother's not right over my shoulder. Hey, I got a little room to groom now. And once this system starts to lose control and the people start to gain control, I think America will see a whole nother side of black people that they thought didn't exist, that they thought maybe we got over. But I tell you what, there is an undeniable, unceasing fire, a burning rage, an endless series of traumatic energy that has built up over the years and generations and generations. And I think the biggest fear is that one day that all that energy is going to be released back into the world. All that trauma, all that pain, all that exploitation, all those deeds that was done in the dark that maybe they thought they got away with, we have not forgotten. And I think the biggest fear is that, they're going to realize that we've been wearing a mask this whole time, that we've had to pretend to get along so we can have a job, or we can do our things in society and whatever in this world, to function in this world. But we never forgot the pain, we never forgot the trauma, and we never forgot what America has done to us. So fuck no, I don't feel sorry or sympathy for what's happening to this place. And I just think that whenever the next time black people move collectively, the next time you see us do some shit, it's gonna be a power move like you ain't never seen before. Because the move is going to be energized by generations and generations of built up traumatic energy and rage and all this frustration that we've experienced here in this country. And once we ain't got nothing left to lose or nothing left to gain, what do you think's about to happen? So all I can say is, don't take that silence coming from the black community right now as a lack of awareness. We know what's going on. We just waiting on our time to shine.
Put it into words, but I genuinely want to have a conversation about this. Okay, I genuinely, like, no disrespect, just a genuine conversation. With everything going on right now, especially in America, there's a lot of civil unrest. It's almost to the point where it's like a boiling point, where it's about to pop, where it's about to burst. Everyone is having civil unrest. It's like it's teetering onto something, but we don't know what it is yet, right? Everybody keeps saying, how could they do this? Why isn't anybody stopping anything? Like, what's going on? There was a black woman that said, and I quote, "The reason why nobody is throwing the first stone is because they're waiting for black people to throw it first." That has altered my brain chemistry because, mind you, we know the laws are going to come down to us. So of course we're going to try to stand up for others. And I've noticed immediately, especially with the ICE raids, we've seen videos of people saying, well, why haven't black people stepped in? We did this, a transactional interaction. They tie it back to Black Lives Matter. Like, it's blowing my mind. I don't know how to explain it.
I just saw a post that was just like the fact that people aren't rioting in the streets of America is truly astounding. And the first comment under it was they're waiting on black people to do it. And now that I think about it, that is literally facts. The reason why things are not happening right now the way they should and riots are not happening the way they should is because they want us to be on the front lines of it, like we always are of every revolution in American history. But this time we don't want to do it because we know how that turns out for us. It just turns out them labeling us as the usual suspects. It's just an easy excuse for them to put violence on us or attached to us as like a part of our character or something. They're afraid to be on the front lines of it themselves because they know that the perception of them is going to change afterwards, no matter what.
Can we talk about how fast the cost of living in Michigan has changed? Because I swear it happened overnight. Like in 2018, you could walk into Meijer, Kroger, any of those grocery stores with $100 and you could leave with quite a bit of groceries. Now I have barely anything in my cart. I get to the register, it's $187. 2018 gas, around $2 a gallon, maybe a little more. Now we're pushing $5. And don't even get me started on rent for apartments. It used to be like $900, now it's $17. And the carpet in them is still from 2004. Car insurance, insane. Fast food, crazy high, but wages have moved like 37 cents. I think this is the craziest part about it all. People aren't buying luxury anything. Like, all out here struggling over basic necessities. Why does existing in Michigan feel...
Somebody said that foundational Black Americans would not be rooting for the downfall of America because this is the country that our great grandparents built. And I would just like to say, you're half right. And before anybody tries to come and question me, baby, I'm 6 generations deep in this bitch. And I know exactly who and where I come from. So let's get into it. Yes, our family members, our ancestors, our people built this country. By 1860, 4 million enslaved people produced well over 60% of this nation's wealth. Enslaved Africans and enslaved African Americans literally and figuratively built this nation. That includes the U.S. Capitol and the White House. If you would like to, you can read more about that at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American Culture. Please understand that slavery created the startup capital for the U.S. economy's rise. And that capital accumulated under slavery continues to grow exponentially because of compound interest. It accrues today to the white heirs of the estates built by slave labor. And the heirs of the Black laborers who toiled for free have been excluded by law from their rightful inheritance. So yeah, our ancestors built this country, without a doubt. And then this country denied them their 40 acres and a mule that they were promised. And then this country passed black codes to put them back into legal servitude. And then created sharecropping to keep them economically trapped. Used redlining to deny them home ownership. Used the GI Bill to build white generational wealth while denying Black veterans. And today, without intervention, it would take 228 years for the average Black American family to build the same wealth as their white counterparts. 228 years, according to the NAACP. So when I look at this country, I don't see a country that was built for us. I see a corporation that was built by us, owned by someone else that has never once paid its debt. A corporation that quite literally needs an underclass to function. Did you know that Black Americans hold 2% of the nation's wealth? Less than 2%, according to Berkeley Economic Review. And that's not by accident. That is a feature of this nation, of this corporation. So will the fall of America hurt Black and brown communities first? Yes, of course, it always does. Every economic crisis in American history, Black and brown communities see it and feel it first. The 2008 housing crisis, Black families, Black American families felt it first, losing 53% of the wealth. COVID, Black Americans died at twice the rate. Every recession, every inflation spike, every single crisis, same story. So in that respect, I understand why some people are saying don't root for the fall of America. But here's my question. What exactly are we protecting? A system that was designed with our subjugation built into the infrastructure? A corporation that used our ancestors as startup capital? Still ain't paid that debt? Instead of saying that I'm rooting for destruction, I'm just going to say that I'm rooting for something better to be built in its place. You wouldn't renovate a house whose foundation was built on the bones of your ancestors and call it home.